Hey, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Overjazz Sports Talk Podcast coming at you. Another live episode, and we had a couple of really good games. Want to jump on and want to talk some NBA action. We had the Knicks in Game 1. Of course, you know your boy's a Knicks. I'm sorry, right? You know your boy's a Knicks fan. All right, so I got to jump on this. I was very excited about Game 1, and of course, Steph did it again. Another legendary night, 50 piece to close out the Kings in Game 7. So we got to hit these two games individually. Right now, I am streaming live on Twitter as I am on my home channel at YouTube, and I'm trying Rumble again. Hopefully, this time I should be able to get Rumble ongoing. I think I have the setup right this time. I failed the last time, but anyway, definitely want to start with the Knicks and the Heat Game 1. As you all know, Jimmy playoffs has been the talk of the town. He has been the man. He's the guy that is killing. Has had the best postseason. Like I've always said, I think the Iron Fox has been right behind him, and then Devin Booker, regards to run status, right? But overall, I think Heat and Knicks Game 1 was definitely a throwback to those 90s shootouts, not shootouts, actually, defensive prowess here. And man, I'm a little disappointed. The Knicks lost Game 1, 108 to 101. We started out good. The Knicks started out really good, running the ball, kind of maintaining the heat, controlling some of their players. Adebayo was slow to get off onto the second half. Jimmy was trying to get his. But the Knicks were doing what supposed to do. But RJ Barrett was beasting. RJ was beasting in the first quarter, had 11 points. Let me go ahead here and share my screen. And look, there was a lot of issues here. The first half, it was a tale of two halves, first and foremost. The first half, the Knicks had total control. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. Up by 5. At one point, they were up by like 11. Everything was clicking on all cylinders. Uh, Brunson had a so-so first half, but still was out there running the show. Josh Hart was doing what he always does. He's one of those sneaky rebounders. RJ Barrett had himself a great game, but it was all in the first half. Kind of disappeared a little bit in the second half. And of course, Mitch Robinson was having a Mitch Robinson game. Maybe not scoring so much, but doing what he's supposed to be doing, blocking, defending, and it goes rebounding. The story of the game here was that the Knicks were really bad shooting beyond the arc. The Heat were not that great, but they were much better than the Knicks. So I'm going to hit you the stats. This were the keys of the game to me were. So 108 to 101. The Miami Heat outshot the Knicks 33% from beyond the arc, right? 13 out of 39. The Knicks shot 20%, but attempted 34 shots from 3, only hit 7. Okay, that's a plus and minus of 6 right there. That's 18 points differential. The other battle here where the Knicks really, really struggled was getting to the line. All right. The Heat got to the line 29 times, hit 23 free throws, 79%. The Heat got to the line 9 less times and hit less free throws than the Heat, 12 out of 20. That's not good. The Heat, made 11 more free throws. That's a differential of 11 more points between that and the 3-point combination. That's the difference of the game right there. The Knicks did, played to their strength. They won the rebounding battle, that's the way they got to get by here. Obi Toppin had himself a great game. He's still doing great. Look, 31 solid minutes, hit 4 threes. He was the only one hitting threes. If you think about it, Obi Toppin hit 4 threes. He was their best 3-point shooter. He took 11 shots. Obi, it's a power forward. That's not his game. He took 11 threes. Brunson stunk it up, had 25 points, but did not make a 3. Josh Hart, wide open. Josh had a 4 out of the 4. 3 of those were wide open. RJ Barrett hit 1, but he was the best and most consistent player. He's the one that shot the best from the field. had a really nice all around game, man. 9 rebounds. Was playing really good defense on Jimmy up to one point. It was making Jimmy work. Was making Jimmy Butler work. But the Heat definitely. I mean, the Heat definitely outscored the Knicks in the second half. They were hitting those threes. They really got hot in the second half, and the Knicks were not. Bottom line, they got to the line, and the Knicks didn't. And when the Heat got to the line, they shot at a higher percentage than the Knicks did. So I mean, it was that's it. That's your story of the game. It was a very close game, but in the second half, it was all good. Jimmy Butler again. He's having a Jimmy playoff status over here. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. 9 for 11 from the line, went to the line, shot 50% from the field. Again, efficiently as hell. Gabe Vincent hit 5 3-pointers. Shot up 12 of them, but hit 5, 20 points. Unexpected. You did not see that. Kevin Love only played 16 minutes, man. But those 16 minutes, the man went 2 for 5 from beyond the arc, had himself 5 rebounds. He had 4 assists. All 4 of those assists were long outlet passes that all converted to freaking points. I mean, the man was out there slinging the rock from one end of the court to the other, and Jimmy and Strauss were all like the Struz, whatever the guy's name is. They were all like wide receivers out there catching these long bombs. Aaron Rodgers was in the game, and I think Aaron was impressed with the arm of Kevin Love. All right, because he hit like those 4 assists were all long from one end of the court to the other end, outlet passes that all resulted in points. You can't do that. You can't play that lackadaisical and get yourself caught off guard by having 8 points, 4 of those assists, like nothing like that. That's BS. That's really BS. Anyway, moving on, just to keep pointing out the obvious here. Bam Adebayo, 7 of 13, 16 points, quiet. The other big story of the game was off the bench, man. Man, Kyle Lowry had himself a game. He had another 5 threes, 18 points off the bench, 6 assists. The man had 4 blocks. How the hell is Kyle Lowry? Big butt Kyle Lowry. All right, big butts can I not lie. Kyle Lowry definitely had 4 assists and was in disguise. I don't know, I'm trying to match it up. 6 assists, but he had 4 blocks. But when you go 6 to 2 turnover ratio, that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Kyle Lowry was huge, was really, really huge. And now moving on and staying on Jimmy. Jimmy had another solid game. Maybe not that 42 game like he had in game 5 against the Bucks, or 56 like he had in game 4. However, Jimmy Butler had him rolled an ankle. He rolled an ankle right here, and that's a problem. I know he stayed in the game, but reality is going to set after that adrenaline goes away. That ankle roll did not look great. So that's one thing that the Heat gonna be looking for. That how much of in game shape or percentage wise Jimmy is going to be for game 2. He's gonna have 48 hours to heal that ankle. We don't know I guess the capacity or the level of pain here or damage or strain was this ankle roll by Jimmy Butler. We shall see. We definitely shall see. The Knicks again. Look, the Knicks could have done a little bit better. Could have done a little bit better. They ran it in the first half, man. The Knicks looked really, really good in the first half. Come on, look. Let me go back to the Knicks stats here. They were running the ball well, man. They were handling the rock in transition. They were scoring. Obi Topping was catching lobs. Mitchell Robinson was catching lobs. The offense was fluid, man. These guys were passing the rock with each other. You know, um, Grimes came off the bench and even hit a three. But after the second half, man, I mean, we knew we struggled hitting the three from the first half. We did, but then we just could not hit the freaking ocean every time we shot from downtown, and that's not good because the Heat were hot from beyond the arc, and the crime is that there were wide open jump shots, right? There were wide open 3-point attempts. I think 50% of them were wide open. Josh Hart had 3 out of those 4 wide freaking open. Jalen Brunson had a couple that he created. He creates good off the dribble. All right, so there was no excuse. Jalen should have hit at least 2 out of 7 if he's gonna have an off night, and Josh Hart should have hit 2 out of those. We'll be talking a different game. That's 8 point differential right there. We'll be talking a different game. You just needed to hit 4 more threes just to be close with the Heat and make a couple more free throws. Game 2, I think the Knicks need to be super aggressive. They actually need to go at Jimmy Butler because he's not going to be 100%. Rolled ankles. Excuse me. I had to, get a drink of water. Rolled ankles. Do not You don't come back that easy. It's gonna linger. I mean, you can still play. He played after that. He was moving a little slower, gingerly. But after you get to treatments, the heat, the PT, and all that stuff, it's gonna linger. It's gonna linger throughout the playoffs. It's very easy. It could easily re-aggravate itself again. So honestly, the Knicks need to attack Jimmy Butler, make him play D, and rough him around. Right now, he is a little bit hurt, and when you got an animal that's bleeding, you got to go for it. I'm not saying to play dirty, all right, but this is Knicks and Heat rivalry. We need to run it back to the '90s. Okay, we need to bring back the Van Gundy. All right, the Van Gundy experience here. We need that Mason toughness. All right, we actually need Chris Childs back in here, or Charlie Ward, Greg Anthony, all right, to do some, do a couple of elbows here, a couple of trips, Rolando Blackman. We need Oakley. We need that kind of toughness, because if not, the Heat are gonna eat our lunch, because Jimmy Butler right now is playing on a different level, Jordan status. I mean, look today. He did not go over 30, but he still had 11 points. He get hits whenever he can. The Heat are making plays for Jimmy to get open when Jimmy was struggling at the beginning of the game. After that second quarter, after that first quarter, the Heat adjusted it. Spoelstra did a great job of getting Jimmy Butler the ball on transition, on cuts, and the rest is history. But Jimmy again was doing his thing. Jimmy scored, had 11 boards. That's huge. I mean, come on, that is huge. When you have Jimmy Butler doing work like this, let's go back to the stats here. When you got Jimmy Butler doing work like this, 8 out of 16, that's 50%. I'm repeating the stats again: 9 for 11, 11 total rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. That's your regular season Jimmy stat line right there. But that means so much more, because he was all over the place, man. He was all over the place. He was playing good defense. And you know what? Adebayo had a so-so game, had about 8 boards. Adebayo can get you more than this. Also, Struce had 8 points, not great, but he hit 2 out of 5 from 3, and there were big shots as well. Off the bench, Lowry was the other big difference in the game. Again, the Knicks need to work, need to get to the line more often and make those free throws. Hit more threes for the next game. And we need more from Quickly. 9 points off the bench is not enough from uh, IQ. All right, Grimes, I know it's kind of, he played 10 minutes. It's trying to, like, work him back in. This kid can shoot. He's a really good shooter. We need to see more. Now, of course, Randall is going to be your X factor here. We have no clue what's going to happen with Randall. We don't know what's going to happen if he's going to play game 2. I think he is. Game 2 is on Tuesday. Look, if Grimes is playing banged up and you cannot get Randall a lot of minutes, because I think they got to try to ease him in, I think you need to get some more shooting in there. And yo, Evan Fournier can sling it. I know it's not ideal, but I think Evan Fournier can shoot from the outside, and if he's wide open, Evan Fournier can hit those threes. Give Evan Fournier 10 to 15 minutes next game, so Grimes can get his legs under his game after being after being hurt, and try to work himself back in. That's pretty much. All right, so the Heat and Knicks game 2 on. It's going to be on Tuesday. Let's go Heat. By the way, when I sent my picks out of the day, I actually picked the Heat +5. I know, I'm a Knicks fan. Why would you pick the Heat +5 before the game? One of my Twitter followers, my boy Adam Holst, actually said Heat with question marks, and I replied back to him, because traditionally, man, game ones usually go sideways. It didn't start that way, but it did go sideways. I was thinking if the Knicks were going to win game 1, it was going to be a close game, definitely under 5 points, or the Heat were going to win, convincingly. It was a close game. It didn't start out the way that I thought it was going to start out, but at the end of the day, the outcome was the same. That's why I picked the Heat +5. Next game might be a little different. I got to see what's up. I'll make my picks tomorrow. Woo, man! All right, man. The Knicks. I think that, honestly, and I think this series is going to go 7. If the Knicks win the series, it's 7 games. If the Heat win, is going to be 6 games. That's my prediction for this. All right, moving on to the Warriors and the Kings, man. Look, the Warriors took out the Kings 120-10. Historic 50-piece by Steph Curry, career high in the playoffs. And before I start my rant here and start breaking this game down, I want to say one thing about those Kings. They should not hold their head low whatsoever. They should hold their heads very, very like high, because these kids have no playoff experience. You have very little playoff experience. Kevin Herter played 1 year with the Hawks. I think what's the bonus? I think did he ever make the playoffs? I think they did. I'm not sure with Indiana. The only one that had a lot of playoff experience there has been Barnes because he played in three different finals because he played with the Golden State Warriors, but that's not a lot. Let's give the Kings a lot of credit. This team came out of nowhere with a 3 seed. They took the defending champs and a bunch of Hall of Famers to Game 7. Get it? I know Golden State is not a legit six because they were banged up most of the year. They went up 2-0. Man, they punched them in the mouth. They took them to the limit. Nothing to be ashamed of by the Kings. That team has such a bright future. They just need to keep adding the pieces what they need to shore up, man. But they could be the team that they're going to have to kiss their ass in the West next year as LeBron is on his way out with the Lakers. Steph gets older. So does Clay. Look, we saw what John Morant disappeared against LeBron James and the Lakers, lost the last game by 7 points, by 40 points. Again, at the end of the day, this team has a lot of promise. The ceiling is high. They got a stud in the Aaron Fox, who was to me the second most clutch player in these playoffs after Jimmy Butler. All right. The Sabonis, man, this guy is a workhorse. This is a guy that you could build around. Man, I really love that kid. Murray, the rookie, I forget his name. Another good piece to work around. They just need to keep adding the right pieces to this team. And they got a nice nucleus. And I think they'll be back next year. Watch out. I know they came out of nowhere this year, but they have nothing to be ashamed of. Keep your heads high, Kings, because you guys are going to be a problem in the West, and whoever they play with, whoever's going to play them, they're a problem in the West, legitimately. Even though everybody's going to know about them next year, but if that front office keeps moving the right pieces in place, that team is going to be nasty. It's going to be dangerous. It's not going to be a fluke that they will be back in the playoffs, probably in the top 3 seeds again next year. Now, let's go to this, baby. Let's go, man. 120 to 110. Close in the first half. As a matter of fact, the Golden State Warriors were down by 4 or 1 or 2. I forget it because I actually had to go to church in the middle of the game. But I was like, in the middle of mass, man, I'm looking at my watch as the priest is giving his homily. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble here. My wife kept nudging me, kept elbowing me. The kids were like, what is he doing? What is he looking at his watch for? If he's looking at his watch, I could actually go ahead and even not pay attention to mass. That was a bad example in mass today, boys and girls. So I'm just put it out there. I went ahead and asked forgiveness while I was doing my, after communion. Anyway, Steph Curry. Right now, there has to be no argument. What he did last year, winning the championship on his own. He's had some legendary games. He has the 4 championships, greatest shooter of all time. He is now moving into the level of GOATness, honestly. 50-point game to close out a Game 7. Brought this team back against a really, really good Kings team from being down 0-2. I mean, he was just today was Steph was in his bag and at a different level, man. Whether he shot 7 for 18 from the field, from three, I'm sorry, from beyond the arc, but he was taking the ball to the rock and making some circus shots time after time and hitting that dagger over and over again in the King's stomach, man. He was like just stabbing him and then go ahead and turn it because, man, they couldn't. And that second half was history. 35-23 in the third quarter, 29-19 in the fourth quarter. It was history. Vintage, clutch, GOAT performance by Steph. In addition, Kevin Looney has come up after Draymond Green was suspended. Came on Looney, dropped a 20+ rebound game. Had a second 20+ rebound game right now. 11 points, 21 boards. He's been huge, and you need those. It's not so much just scoring. You need the rebounding. Wiggins had a solid game, 17 points, 7 rebounds. Clay struggled. Man. And Steph carried the team because after Wiggins with 17, Clay shot 4 for 19, 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. That's it. He was having a rough game. It was Steph in the second half. Just picked him up, put him on his back, over. Because look, the bench did not do well. I mean, Poole has been struggling in this whole entire playoff. 8 points in 19 minutes. This is the guy That was the difference last year. A different maker coming off the bench. All right. Moody, 15 minutes, and 5 points. That's it. DiVincenzo, nowhere to be found. Gary Payton, the second, who's supposed to be a defensive catalyst right here, has not been able to do jack shit. All right. It was all Steph with that 50 bomb and completely annihilated the Kings. It was just insane. They shot they shot 32%, hit 15 threes. And even though the Kings hit 12, that was just the difference of the game, man. I mean, the overall, the I'm sorry, the Golden State Warriors hit more field goals. All right, they hit 43 as opposed to 36. They shot higher from the field, higher from three, higher from the free throw line. They they killed the rebounding battle, 55 to 49. Wasn't a big difference, but hey, that's a net plus. That was the issue right there. Look, one thing the Golden State did well, both teams did well actually. They only had 7 turnovers, and this is usually where Golden State lacks an issue here. This is where they usually have a problem when they turn the ball over and a lot of careless turnover. They kept took care of the ball, man. So did the Kings. It was a close game. It just this 120 to 100 doesn't make any justice. Look, Sabonis, strong game, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Man, Harrison Barnes disappeared, 14 points when you needed him the most. All right, Keegan Murray, that was a kid's name. He had himself a 10 points. He's been playing really, really solid. De'Aaron Fox, 16. This guy's been averaging over 30. And that was the story of the game, man. It was just too much of the bright lights for the Kings. They're a young team. They they're just a young team, man. They haven't been there before. So the Kings and the fans need to understand that a team like the Kings, who really, really overachieved this year, and again have a bright future, need to understand that they gotta get punched down in the mouth by the veteran team. It's just a rite of passage. Michael needed to do it with the Pistons. All right. Magic needed to do it as well when he was a rookie. Bird as well. You know what I mean? It was with the 76ers, Golden State in the West, LeBron of the Miami and the Celtics. It's just a rite of passage. There's teams that they're going to knock you out. They got to knock you down. You got to come back next year stronger and better. And the Kings overachieved. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like a 6-game series when the series started, but I didn't think that they were going to go up to 2-0, a lead like that. They gave the champs their best shot, and it is what it is. They should not be ashamed. Keep your head. The Kings need to keep their heads held high. But yeah, it's. I mean, it was just Game 7 was just too much for them. Too much for them. And you know what? I'm not gonna bash them because it's just nature. Golden State has been there so many times. What in the last 7 years? This is what 2014, 2015. This is 2015. Golden State had big game after big game after big game. This was normal for them. This was not normal for the Kings. This was the first time that young group of cats together were in a position where the heat was turned up. And again, if you looked at the first half, the Kings being up by 2, Steph wasn't worried. He was playing flawless. He hit a 3 at one point before the half. That was like 30 feet, his usual Steph bomb. Clay hit a 4-point play. That those are the kind of the symbolism that you were like, this team was relaxed regardless of being down by a few points because they knew they were going to come back. Second half, Steph was just doing what Steph does, elevate himself and carry the team. Vintage, vintage Steph performance. That's why he is the greatest shooter of all time. He's a 4-time champion, multiple time league MVP, NBA Finals MVP. What else? What can you say? The man did what he's supposed to do in a Game 7 or in a caliber of that type of atmosphere. Yo, no shame in the game for the Kings, bro. Nobody at this point right now in the United States, in this country, or internationally are saying the Kings suck. They blew it. No, no. Is on the other hand, they way overachieved and they played their asses off. That team never gave up. Unfortunately, you ran against the greatest shooter of all time. The greatest shooter of all time. and one of the best performers and greatest scorer overall, because not just shooting three or take what it does. He's one of the greatest scorers and players in the history of this game. It's just what it is, man. I'm looking forward to the Lakers and the Warriors. LeBron versus Steph again. They're gonna meet each other in the playoffs for the first time, I think, since I think since the finals. Since the Cavs met the Lakers in the finals. I mean, since the Cavs met the Warriors in the finals, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And you know the King wants that fifth championship to get that Kobe ring, baby. He wants the Kobe ring. All right. So like that, he stops getting bashed because I think with breaking the all-time NBA scoring points, he thinks that with a fifth championship, he's gonna go ahead and I'm sorry, overpass here, my boy Jordan. He's gonna overpass those two right there because right now, those two right there, man, are the shit. I hate this mirror thing. So are the man, Kobe and Michael, man. They're the two greatest postseason players you've ever witnessed. I think Steph is getting up there. But anyway, I think he wants it so bad. And don't you think Steph wants it also? He wants to beat LeBron without Kevin Durant. Again, he wants to take it to the Lakers. I'm gonna give him my predictions real quick. I think the Warriors are winning this in six. Anthony Davis, and I'm sorry, Laker Nation, it's gonna end up getting banged up in the series. They're gonna make sure they play fast. The Warriors will be. They got to make sure they run the tables. They get those fast break points, shoot a lot of threes. I think they're gonna bang Anthony down low with Kevin Looney. I think Kuminga is gonna get some more extended minutes. They're really gonna. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Lakers do provide a matchup issue, a mismatch for the Warriors. They're big in size. LeBron is playing really, really good. Um, on the other hand, the Kings, the way they shoot, will absolutely can get hot and make these games really out of contention quick and run them out, run the tables quick, run them out of the building by scoring a lot of points really quickly, like today. So I got the Kings. I'm sorry, I got the Warriors. I apologize. I got the Warriors in six, 4 games to two. 4 games to two. I got the Warriors because the Warriors are the home team. Yeah, number six and against number seven, which everybody knew this was going to happen. Everybody knew these two teams were not legitimate in number six and seventh because they were both teams, the Lakers and the Warriors, were hurt most of the year. LeBron was out for a long time. Steph was banged up. There was a lot of you had uh, people in the also Poole and also was Curry. Everybody was banged up from both teams, man, and the Warriors played really, really bad on the road all season long. They got two road wins this against the Kings. That's not a good sign for the Lakers. After the Warriors stinking it up all season long and on the road, man, they got two big road wins. So that means that they're gonna play tough on the road. Let's throw the road crap out the window. The regular season's over. In the playoffs, man, they got 2 games in the row on the wins on the road against their previous playoff in the Kings. One is a game seven, which means a lot. It means a lot, a lot, a lot. So Warriors in six. And I want to close the show pretty much first and foremost, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to give out my condolences to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Shaq Barrett and his family, man, who just suffered a unimaginable loss. Man, it's crazy. After his young daughter drowned in a swimming pool at their Tampa home over the weekend. Rest in peace to Araya Barrett, man. She was only 2 years old. Words cannot describe how really heartbreaking this is. I could imagine how the Barrett family is going through right now, losing a kid. It's not natural. They're not supposed to go before the parents, accidental or not. This is a huge loss, and my heart really goes out to the family. I know the NFL families out there praying. Definitely keep the Barrett family in your prayers. So hopefully they could. It's going to be tough to get over, but all the prayers help. Uh, Unreal. It's words can describe how sad this is, and I think how hurt everybody is because nobody really wants to go through this. And again, deepest condolences go out to the Barrett family. All right. Once again, rest in peace, Araya Barrett, the 2-year-old daughter of Shaq Barrett from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, passed away this weekend in an accidental drowning at their Tampa home in their pool. That's all I got for this week. I appreciate everybody watching. Do me a favor, if you're watching on Rumble, give us a follow, hit a like on the video. YouTube, same thing. Follow, subscribe, hit a like on the video, turn your notifications so you know when we go live. Yeah, Twitter is Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. Follow your boy on Twitter. That's the best social media. That's the only social media I got for the podcast. Joe's underscore talk at Joe's underscore talk. That's my Twitter handle. Hit me up on all my other social media. I got my link trees in the bio, so you could listen to this, watch it. I mean, I all my live shows. I download the audio and I put it also on the audio platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple, and I mean, iTunes, all the ones, man. I'm all over the freaking place. So again, watch also my show, my other show at the Fantasy Sports Network, the Fantasy Sports Corporation. I'm sorry, alongside my buddy Jordan Thomas. It's called The Weekly Throwdown. It's live every Thursday on Rumble and on YouTube. Again, entertaining stuff, man. Battle style. We go at each other. We got the Queen of Throwdown, the British lady who gives us our topics and judges us. Really cool stuff, man. It's a little different than your normal podcast here that you're used to watching. It's not just me by myself talking shit. It's with another dude talking shit. But at this point, we're both going at each other really, really hard. Great. JT's a great dude, entertaining as hell, knows his shit, way smarter than I am. Sometimes I don't even know how I win. But anyway, I appreciate you, everybody watching and listening. This is your boy E Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast, signing out. Peace.